Richard back. Here we are at the Piatek scenario. There's a lot to talk about here. Before I do the strategic overview, I just wanted to briefly mention some things that I think I need to incorporate more in my videos. This discussion of critical points, and I would like to add another term that I think is important called critical space. So critical space and critical points are just areas that if you control them, it dictates the flow of battle. This actually relates to chess as well, because in chess you have critical squares. It could be related to if you break this square on the king side where the king is, you can checkmate the king. It could be if I fight for control over a key square and wrestle it away from the opponent, it gives me a strategic or positional advantage. Or I could control the queening square in an endgame, and a queening square is the square where the pawn promotes to another piece. Whoever controls that square can often win the game. And in chess, also, sometimes it's less about exact squares and it's more about general space. So if I need to control space on the queen side, it would be critical. I need to make moves that are asserting control over there. And it's a critical space because if I control the space on the queen side, I can launch attacks later. And this very readily, almost exactly, translates into Panzer Corps. So at Piatek scenario, at the Lot scenario, I discussed those fortifications being critical points, and you saw me relentlessly assault them with artillery and mountain units and an 88 gun. And that was a great example of a critical point. And then critical space would have been the Danzig corridor scenario, where all those hexes in front of the towns and the river, whoever was coerced into going onto those hexes was in danger, because you could be forced to surrender or be pushed onto the river. Actually, you couldn't be pushed onto the river because it was a major river, so you could force mass surrenders. And notice that I controlled that space really well, and it allowed me to control the flow of battle. So I'm gonna try to be more proactive about identifying critical points and critical space. I think Deductor is very good about critical point stuff, but I don't think anyone really talks about critical space. Maybe even Pocata himself could improve a little bit by emphasizing that. It's a little tough. Nobody really uses that terminology anyway. But I feel in a lot of scenarios, it's almost less about a particular hex, and it's more about space in general. And the more of it you control in a certain sector, the easier it is for you to control the flow of battle. I do think that's a very advanced and abstract concept that is going to be very difficult for even an elite player to use properly. But I still think it's worth mentioning. I think it will improve your play if you start thinking about it that way. So we're getting some vocabulary introduced into strategic analysis, just to make things more precise. So anyway, back to this map. Man, I have so much to talk about on this map. So what we have in the message, we have an emergency issue. We've got reconnaissance that's telling us a huge pocket of Polish troops are massing in the Kutno region. They're under the command of General Kurtziba, and they're coming quickly. They'll be attacking in waves, and you must hold as many objectives as you're able. Should they break through the defensive line and regain control of the Burza River, the forces advancing under Warsaw are in danger. So you can kind of figure out from that message you're defending in this scenario. Read these messages because there's a lot of important information in there. All of the critical points here are these highlighted circles. And our instructions, I think, are pretty clear. Hold all 7 of these for a decisive victory. And I think a marginal victory, hold 1. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Almost a brain-dead player could hold 1. But it's a whole other story to hold all 7. So when you look at this, you can see river tactics galore. This is actually a really, really strong point. To assail this position, the AI would have to force units onto the river, and units attacking on the river into a hex are losing initiative and some other things. So the probability of damaging this unit with backing artillery is very, very low. So I really like the idea. I feel like this is the easiest spot to hold on the whole map, just because good luck, trying to attack this spot. The rest of these guys, I think every single one of them is on a river hex. So what would be a rational thing to do? Man, I've seen so many different approaches to this map. You could, in theory, park something here with backing artillery and hope to survive the waves. I think it's a bad idea. You're on a river hex, you're vulnerable. You're more likely to take damage. What makes a lot more sense is to pull back with backing artillery. Have the units blindly stumble in and attack you. We know that the AI almost always it conquers a victory hex and then it attacks. The AI is kind of mindless about this. They just feel like they have to attack after conquering a victory hex. You can use that knowledge against them. When I'm looking at the terrain, I don't think I want tanks or anti-tank weapons in here. It looks like a mountain unit should go here, and another infantry unit should go here. And the same thing here. It would be nice to have 2 infantry units. I'll need an infantry unit here. And then I would like an infantry unit here. And how much infantry do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we'll see how that works. So I'm already. It would be nice to have an infantry over here, maybe. But I have 6 infantry. The SE is going to be very helpful later. I'm going to take my most inexperienced unit and put him in the safest spot on the map. It also means he has more opportunities to gain XP here. So how much XP does he have? 59, yeah. It probably won't take him too long to get to 1 star. I'm going to just take this least experienced guy. He's going to be super safe on this hex. I put him there. This hex has open spaces. It looks to me like I should put some heavy hitters here. If a tank comes here, it could damage my infantry pretty badly, so I shouldn't put infantry here. This is a great spot for infantry. In the forest, the tank could come in, and it's gonna have a bad day attacking my infantry. So strategically, I'm getting a little too focused on tactics there. Let's take a look at the strategic map. I have a scout car. I know that I'm going second because I'm defending. It doesn't look like this guy's going to make it. I have fortresses. They're not very strong, and if the AI is determined enough to take them out, it's going to happen. I also see that I have an anti-tank gun. I've got 4 anti-tank guns and 2 artillery pieces. You know what that's telling me? There's going to be a lot of armor coming my way. And I need to make sure that I'm very protective of my infantry. So, I have artillery. I mean, I'm going to have 4 pieces of artillery plus 2 more auxiliary pieces. And that is a lot of artillery, but because this is a defensive scenario, that's really good for me. So strategically, I need to hold this, and I'm thinking I need to pull back. This guy doesn't need to pull back. He's not on a river hex. These guys are, and I would love for the AI to just march in here and attack, and the infantry backed by artillery. Then there's the question of, can I be more ambitious? I think that if I was very careful, I could pull everything back and just kind of hold this line and be fine. But I am in a desperate need of prestige, and I would like to accumulate some of these assets back here. So if I see an opening to kind of send maybe my scout car, which has 10 movement, to go up and grab some things, I might take it. I also have a 6 movement mountain unit who could just navigate through all these hills and forests pretty easily. That's something to take into account. I need prestige. I'm at 51 prestige, and let's get real. I want to buy 2 fighters. They're each 410 prestige. I want to buy a one of these guys. I'm already over 1100 prestige, and I need to buy another artillery unit, and that's going to cost me 276 prestige. This is not a great thing. I'm looking at 1400 prestige by the start of Warsaw. And if I literally don't get another SE unit, I can't sell it. I don't know what's going to happen then. So maybe, and I only have 51, so I need, 12 or 1300 more prestige over the next 3 scenarios. That might be possible, especially if I'm very ambitious on this map and I try to grab some things. We'll talk about, if that's sound or not. So that's the basic overview. The first time I played this map, I didn't do very well. I think a lot of people struggle the first time they play this map. It seems like you're used to aggressively moving forward and seizing objectives, but the report isn't joking. There is a serious, nasty counterattack coming your way, and you have crappy armor. Even if you kept your Panzers and you bought a Panzer II, or even bought a 38T, it is too much armor for you to handle. And there's a lot of cavalry as well. It's just too much. I think in theory there's a way to aggressively attack out and grab all of these hexes and potentially destroy every unit, but I'm not convinced that the cost is worth it. And I've never seen anyone succeed at doing it, but it might theoretically be possible. I also don't think that's sound tactics, or sound strategically. If we hold this line from the report, that means the army advancing on Warsaw is safe. We're holding a huge line. This is north of Lodz, I think. Yeah, that's right. This is Lodz. We just took this region out. And by holding this river, this defensive action, it makes the setup on Warsaw go smoother. So we don't need to be insanely tactically ambitious here. Just holding is great. The second time I played this map, I came up with an idea nobody else has ever come up with. I pushed I shipped some anti-tank guns over here. I parked a tank here. I brought this artillery up, and I put a mountain unit here. So you can imagine I had artillery here, mountain unit here, anti-tank, tank. A very nice defensive position, and it does work most of the time. The AI is going to flood over here at some point and take out this observation post, and then it's going to attack my units, but it doesn't work so well because I have anti-tank on open hexes backed by artillery, and a mountain unit is just waiting for somebody to cross in here and attack these hexes. And a mountain unit in the forest is pretty strong. And then later I would send my scout car back to guard this hex. And actually it would get ambushes off. Like a vehicle would sneak across the river and try to get back here to hit my artillery, but I would park a scout car here and damage it pretty badly. The risk with this is there's some very, very strong cavalry. Strong enough that these inexperienced anti-tank guns can be worn out from a vicious assault from this direction. And if any of these units break, I have to pull back if I'm lucky and have a reaction turn, and things get hairy trying to hold both objectives. And sometimes it's worse than that. Something breaks and then a tank gets in here and blasts my artillery, and the whole position can collapse, and you're scrambling trying to save in the final few turns, maybe trying to save these 2 objectives. And it wasn't until I watched Idle Cleese's playthrough that it occurred to me I was totally moronic. Why would I use a different strategy on this part of the map compared to the other part of the map? All he did is he parks everything back here. Anti-tank on open hexes are great. So if somebody wants to go in and attack, they're attacking on a river hex against an anti-tank unit on an open hex. That's usually not going to end well for the attacking unit. Now, they are inexperienced, and obviously infantry can still do a fair amount of damage to them, But the counterattack next turn can be quite vicious, especially if I have an artillery piece over here. So you're going to see me like put some units over here, mostly anti-tank, and their only objective essentially is hold the line, let the attack come to you, and then counterattack. It's just devastating. It's the safest way to play this map. This side is still vulnerable to attacks, but it's way less vulnerable than before. And because you have an artillery piece over here, you're probably okay. I will bring the Air Force over late as well to kind of help in this region. Wherever I'm feeling the most pressure, that's where my Air Force will go. So with that in mind, this SE unit, I don't really care too much about him. He's just an extra unit for me to absorb blows. And so I'm going to stick him over here. Probably put him in the forest, and then later he'll sneak up and attack units on the river hex. And it'll be great. My anti-tank, I want, how about 6B 151? Put my anti-tank here. Okay, so I need artillery. I need artillery all over the place. This artillery can go up here. And then you can see when you're looking at this, if I put maybe my scout car here and infantry here, if I put an artillery here, it covers both hexes. So I only need one artillery piece in this region. I want my scout car in this region. And oh yeah, I didn't talk about this yet. Why did I buy another 88 gun? Why didn't I buy a tank? Well, I didn't buy a tank because I think they're garbage. The second reason I didn't buy a tank is I don't want to upgrade them and have them lose experience right now. So there's just no point in buying a tank. They're just not good. Panzer 1s are terrible. Panzer 2s are minimally acceptable for Poland, but unimpressive for the most part. And then the 38T, I don't feel like buying one. I'm going to get one later, and it's going to be way better than the 38T you could buy. And I don't think I need armor. I think when you look at the rough terrain, infantry is a bigger deal. Anti-tank guns on open hexes is a bigger deal. Yeah, I'm losing some mobility, but this is also a defensive scenario. Maybe mobility isn't that important. So I'm buying an 88 gun for a couple of reasons. I know that there's an Air Force in this scenario, and it's sporadic. At some point, a fighter is going to attack over here. So I need to have a fighter on this map to help protect my units. I'm going to put an 88 gun over here in anti-aircraft mode, and he's going to protect my units. But while I'm busy over here, I have to be careful that I don't get distracted and forget about these units and have another plane show up and badly damage them. So I'm going to bring another 88 gun to act as an anti-aircraft weapon. And later, when I feel more confident, maybe when I bring a fighter over, he can switch to anti-tank and just destroy whatever goes on this hex. So it serves a multi-purpose move. I want two 88 guns. They're very good at destroying fortresses. They're very good at taking out armor. They're better than the 38T at taking out armor. And they're better than the Panzer III or Panzer IV. And later, there's going to be these critical moments where I need to take out heavy-hitting armor of the enemy. And I only have confidence my tactical bomber will do it, or my 88 guns. I'm not sold that my Panzer IIIs are good enough. Because even in 1940, the Panzer IIIs suck. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get Panzer IVs. Panzer IVs are not so bad. I think we'll talk about that. They're more expensive in his mod than the original game, but that's okay because I think they're better tanks than Panzer IIIs. But you have to use them properly. Panzer IVs for quite a while are better at infantry. I would argue they're pretty devastating against infantry. You catch an infantry in an open hex and you move your Panzer IV up, it's going to be a bad day for that infantry. Panzer III can attack infantry in open hexes, but they're much more vulnerable to taking damage. They're more suited for taking on weakened armor. So with some artillery support, maybe a tactical bomber help, maybe you even get armor and a bad hex, a Panzer III can definitely wreck an average armored unit in 1940. It is no match for the more powerful armored units. But I'll save that for as a lecture for later. So in Poland, it's just, I don't have good armor. It's just so pathetically bad that I'm resorting to buying these super awesome, these are super weapons, these 88 guns. They are designed to break through fortifications and armor. So if the Polish army commander wants to send his strongest tanks against me, I'm basically double dog daring him to do it. I don't think your strongest tanks are capable of taking on my 88 gun. And for the most part, that's basically true. There's just no chance that anything except for maybe cavalry. Cavalry is a different story. But cavalry attacking my 88 gun on an open river hex with backing artillery, I think my 88 gun will be okay. So that's why I bought it. It doesn't have a truck, but that's actually really not a big deal because if I put it here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, in 4 turns he'll go here, and my scout car will be up here guarding this hex. Within 5 turns I can park it here, and right around that point there's not a lot of pressure here. So it's okay, I don't have a truck. He can take his time getting places. Next thing, I need some artillery. I don't feel the need to occupy these hexes. I don't have artillery support. I know I'm defending. Where to put infantry? This is my next weakest infantry. It's at 116 experience. Huh. I'm honestly really tempted to put the weaker one here. Just because the pressure here is less severe for quite a while. But it's also 1 star. He's okay. Mountain units. I want my mountain unit over here. I'll have him. I want a mountain unit here, and I want him 1, 2. I can't get in that forest. Yeah, I have to think about this. Oh yeah, I want to ship 2 anti-tank guns all the way over here. I want to park one here, and then I want to back this guy up here, and then I want to park another anti-tank gun here. I'm going to have 4 anti-tank guns. I have expendable units over here. I know that sounds crazy. You know, I'm just parking a bunch of inexperienced anti-tank guns. On the other hand, they're on open hexes. Anything that attacks on these river hexes is going to run into a problem. And they're expendable units, so if the AI puts a lot of pressure here and is starting to weaken them, I don't feel so bad about it. All they have to do is survive long enough to help me take these objectives back. Part of the reason I put my SE infantry over here is he's going to be the backup in case something goes wrong. And because he's my SE unit, I don't mind if he's damaged. I'm never going to give him elite replacements. I also have artillery already over here. This is a strong position. So yeah, so I'm going to ship a couple of these units that way. And then I'm going to probably take this anti-tank, and I want to park him here, just to guard my flank. And then I want to take this artillery unit and stick him here. And he's going to guard these 2 units. The only issue with that plan is that if they swarm around this way, my artillery unit's very vulnerable to an attack from the river. But I can just take another artillery unit, ship it over here, park it here, double protection on my anti-tank gun, and protection on an artillery unit. So if something attacks on the river, it better be very strong to break through the artillery barrage and all the initiative caps that hit you when you're attacking on a river. And because this is an auxiliary unit, I don't mind if it's damaged. So that's why I'm parking it here. It also has a range of 2, I think. Yeah, so I need him to be closer to the battle, whereas my artillery has a range of 3. So, one artillery unit goes here. I want an artillery unit for here, and I want an artillery unit for here. And they can very quickly get there without even using trucks. And I want an 88 gun to go over here. And the reason for that is because of the fuel situation with my fighter and my tactical bombers, I can't guarantee I can guard this area. It's very important for me to protect my artillery from attack. So I'm going to send this other 88 gun and park him here, and he's guarding a lot of stuff, especially the artillery, which is very, very important. So if a plane wants to attack me, good luck. You're probably just setting yourself up for destruction next turn. So I have 2 88 guns, and I'm protecting my extreme flanks with them. I have a lot of units. Yeah. My mountain unit here, he has a lot of movement, actually. He can kind of be back. I'll stick my mountain unit here. I want one mountain unit. He can go a little bit closer. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I can't do it in one turn. I want my most experienced mountain unit right here. I have a plan later where I'm going to break out, and I really want to start figuring out that, like, if I can take this region, and I want a fast-moving infantry unit. I want my other mountain unit here. I want a really experienced, tough mountain unit to help guard this region. And in support, I'm going to give him infantry. I want 2 infantry here. Whoops. It doesn't really matter to me. These guys are pretty experienced. Wow. It really doesn't matter. The other thing is I want another infantry unit here. But he can take his time. You know, I have some time to kind of position everybody. I want 2 infantry here. My best mountain unit in the hills is going to do really well. And then I want 2 infantry here. And they're going to have backing artillery. And these guys are going to attack in here, and it's just not going to go well for them. Next, I need my fighter. I would have, if I was playing on Rommel, I would have just bought another fighter. Actually, my fighter can kind of come back. There we go. And for the first time, I actually have a unit on my reserve list. And I actually don't think I will deploy Rudel. Whoops. Wrong plane. I don't think I'll deploy Rudel until Minsk. I'm now officially in a place where I should be able to always deploy all of my available slots without Rudel. And he held up pretty well. If I look at him, he killed 34 things, despite the fact that where's his attack value? Its hard attack is 5, and its soft attack is 5, and it has -5 attack. So Rudel is not very good. So that's why I'm not going to play with him. I don't want him taking kills away from my other tactical bomber anyway. So let us begin. So the AI is going to have fun torturing my scouts. That's an all-terrain scout. I will plan on buying one of those because it's a combat scout and it behaves differently on terrain. So I think in bad weather spots, it's better to have. And it has 6 ammo. It has 6 ammo, which means it's more set up to go fight. There were combat scout cars that the Weimar used, and I do want to kind of showcase those. I haven't used them much, but I think that they're going to be pretty powerful. And I think sometimes the main scout car I have is not going to be very effective. Like in Vyazma, we know the weather's bad pretty much all the time. That scout car isn't really designed to go through the mud. I think the all-terrain one can make more movement hexes in mud. So I probably use that there. So here comes a counterattack. It's not a joke. I mean, you can see they've got tankettes and artillery and cavalry and infantry. It's just not a joke. I'm going to move him back. I don't need him on the front lines right now. I see nothing. He has a vision of 4. I'm not worried about anybody suddenly showing up and hitting my trucks. Come on. Parking is here, so if they want to attack, artillery on the river hex, anti-tank, it's all good. I need to ship some things around. Let's get these auxiliary units taken care of. Go all the way up. And then next turn, I'm shoving them up here. They haven't crossed the river yet, so I'm fine. It's a very delicate operation. You don't have a lot of time, but because the river's slowing them down, it's just enough time. First order of business, shipping you by rail. Thankfully, I took lots, so this whole, this whole region is ripe for mobility. I can move things in the back and I'm safe. I want to ship him over there. You're just cannon fodder. You're gonna see me abuse these guys because, you know, they're expendable units. It's that simple. He can move up. I'm gonna probably park a scout car here, and then infantry comes up. Yep, I'm gonna gradually get everybody positioned. I can see 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't really think there's anything going on here. But just to be safe, I'll keep him back. I know that the AI got seriously delayed attacking my scout car up here. It's going to take him another turn to really make a move here. This is really far from the front line, so he should be okay. My mountain unit. I'm honestly going to put my mountain unit up here. My artillery's fine. He can't just move here and then here. He has to go here first. I'm going to hit this, because he's probably going to move onto this river hex. And if I weaken it a little bit, it makes it more likely everything will be okay. Then I'm going to take my elite mountain unit and grab this forest. Then I'm going to move my artillery up, so now he's protected. Next is... he has a truck. Oh, I need to move him here. He can't be attacked yet because they have to cross the river first. Then I'm moving you here. He can move up here next turn, and we have a defensive setup that's pretty strong. This guy has a truck, so I'm just going to park him here. He's really safe back here. I've got the river guarded. Then I'm going to go here. And next turn, he can move up and seize that spot. Okay. Where does my tactical... I have to protect my tactical bomber. I don't have any bait to give the AI. So... I'll hit an open space. At minimum, I can at least try to accumulate some kills and try to get him a hero. In fact, I'm curious about him. Oh, I spied some more infantry. He had 52 kills. Okay. He didn't do a lot at Lodz, to be fair. It's not a scenario you can do a lot with. I'm now just checking. It's very important to make sure you move everybody. Yeah. Okay. We'll see what the situation looks like next turn. Now the AI is going to make a serious move. The AI attacked and got whacked pretty bad by the artillery. And my elite mountain troops only took 1 damage. Usually, I have troops take a damage there. I put my mountain troops up there because, honestly, my mountain troops taking damage is not a big deal. They get it back in Norway, like, pretty easily. They're designed for Norway. The AA can see all this, but I don't think they're ready with their fighters yet. The airfields are... it's a little risky for me to do that. But, you know, I'm not really expecting an Air Force as well. I do know there's one coming, but as a commander, I would be really surprised to see one. Okay, you're going to go here. Oh. Yep. My plan is to put another anti-tank here, one here. These guys don't have artillery support. They're the most expendable. But with 2 of them, I think it's going to pose problems for the AI. Just my opinion. Okay. Let me see if I can't beat him off. I should be able to. He's almost fully suppressed. Let's... What a hit! I've never seen that before. Okay. Park him here. Park him here. He can't sneak in here, actually. He doesn't. And now my 88 gun pulls up. You're going to see him gradually going to position him. He might feel like he can come out and hit my scout car. But I have backing artillery, so it's okay. And he sits here. And I'll refuel him. Refueled. So this entire region is taken care of. Actually, does he have any movement? Nah, he doesn't, so he's just going to sit here. Next up. He's entrenched at 2, so I need to hit him with artillery. Mostly suppressed. I feel pretty good about this attack. Kill it. And it worked. He was half suppressed. And I had mass attack bonus. Get your ammo back. He might take some more damage over time. I don't really mind. He's going to get some nice experience, and regular replacements are still very much okay. Next, I'm going to put my elite mountain troops. Great. So now I'm positioned at both axes. I strongly suspect this cavalry unit is going to attack him. So I'm actually hitting it ahead of time. Alright, so it's going to be 9 strength if it attacks him. Next, I need to move. I need to block this invasion. I'm going to use my auxiliary anti-tank gun to make it happen. Then, because I put something in the hills, if he does bring an Air Force, I'm covering my core artillery units and my very vulnerable mountain unit. So now the 88 gun is going to sit here for a while. He's just going to keep the AI honest. What can I do with him? I'm really tempted to bomb the guy on the riverheads. And I got a good hit. I'm going to try to kill it with my infantry. This isn't so bad. I might be able to hit it with my plane. Now I can try hitting it with my artillery. Yep, okay. So I took out an infantry unit. He gained some experience from that. He gained 71 now. Okay, yeah, that was good. You can see I coordinated things carefully, and I took the unit out. So now he's gonna try to surround me. He's got to send another unit in. I'm just scanning. Everybody looks okay. The position is almost set up, actually. Oh, good. You attack. Attack my elite mountain troops. Of course he didn't, because I have initiative of 6. That went really poorly for the AI. Wow. I actually think that infantry is close to 2 stars. That's going to make him really nasty. 2-star infantry in the woods, just waiting for these tanks to attack. So right now, there's already a logjam. I'm pretty much set up at turn 2. The AI is going to try to force its way across the river. And I'm more than happy to make him pay a bloody price for that. I think this is so weak, I could just attack you. Let's do it. 189. He's almost 2 stars. Alright. Let's attack. He's at 2 entrenchment. It's actually a reasonably good. My tactical bomber is done already. That's what happens with the field situation. Keeping him here more flexible. And I have nothing better to do than attack with my fighter and then fly back. Right here. Now the AI can not see this yet, so that's interesting. Alright. I might be able to finish this unit off. That was a good hit, actually. But I need more suppression. He should be fully suppressed at this point. He is. Is he almost 1 star? $83. He's getting there. You can refuel. I'm gonna do something slick and rotate him over and hope that this fully suppresses him. It does. Now it's super safe for me to do this. Nah, that's fine. I'm gonna do this. They can't sneak in here. They have to first occupy that hex before moving, so he is safe. Refuel. That's all good. Infantry is going to go here. I'm going to hit you. How suppressed is he? Oh, it's perfect. Move my artillery up. Move my anti-aircraft gun up. And watch this trick. I want this unit to come back and take the hex, actually. Let's unload. There's still nothing happening over here, that's good. Alright. Turn 3, everybody is in position. It's all good. This is set up. At some point I'm going to try to get my gun here. I have time to make that happen. Nobody else needs to do anything. Okay. So far it's very straightforward. Ooh. The AI sent their 3 strength tank into an artillery trap. That's funny. Okay, so now they're going to take out my vision over here. Ow, I did 5 damage? You can see this defensive setup is working pretty well. The tweaks I've made compared to other people was really inspired by Atlas. My extreme right flank, I'm just letting the AI eventually take those hexes, and then I'll attack with my anti-tank guns. It's going to be pretty devastating. Yes, and the AI just cannot help itself. It feels like it has to take these spots. I want to attack. I mean, that's fine. Go here. And the AI is going to feel obligated to come in and grab the spot. 6. Wait, how much? Okay. Attack. I weakened it by 2, so that means that if it does attack, it's weaker than normal. And I'm going to sneak around. And 2 more turns we'll get here, and we'll all be good. And he has 1 ammo, so he can handle another attack here. I'm surprised that the 2 strength infantry damaged my scout. You know, he's on a river hex. That's like... it's just crazy. Probably the AI got a good roll on the dice. These guys are good. My infantry is protected by these guys, so yeah, I have a lot of expendable units. I'm hoping that when they attack the anti-tank on the road, and then my anti-tank can attack next turn. This guy needs some ammo, so that's all going well. Attack. He's actually entrenched at 3, so if I get good suppression here, I could attack him and he won't retreat. It's pretty good. I'm attacking. Really? It's just regular Polish infantry. I'm kind of surprised by that, but okay. Next order of business, I need to beat this guy back. This is... I've had a couple of bad dice rolls, I think, on these scenarios. Okay. You're gonna go here. You're gonna go here. I do find that the worst dice rolls are... Believe it or not, this hex and this hex. I've played this scenario a lot, and most of the damage I take is right here. And I don't know what's so systematically different about those hexes. Yeah, let's attack with my elite mountain troops. That's right, come and get it. He's good. He's guarding. I haven't moved him up because there's artillery, but also, you know, it's just safer back here. I'm guarding my artillery. I don't like cavalry trying to sneak up on me. So I'm going to damage him some. So if he decides to come in... Attack. It's almost fully suppressed. I'm trying to get my infantry up to 1 star. It just makes it more deadly if they attack in here. 99. He's almost 1 star. It's okay. He's really entrenched in here. He's at 4 entrenchment. Like, what a nightmare. It's just going to be worse for the AI next turn. And I'm attacking. This is a good target. I don't know what the AI is going to do with that cavalry. And I'm going to go here. Protecting my infantry and my tactical bomber. No need to move you. Or you. Or you. Or you. Or you. Okay. We do an update on the strategy. So far, I have a very solid line. I've taken some unexpected hits in this region. I'm pretty vulnerable over here. There's a lot of units, and they're going to come swinging over all of a sudden. If I can clear this up, maybe I can stick my nose out with my elite mountain infantry, stick them in the hills or something, and find out what's over here. I also have an auxiliary unit who might be able to do something. It's raining, huh? Interesting. Oh, it's going to attack, yeah. And his initiative is going to be capped. I totally, that's interesting. I totally ruined that guy's day. It's not muddy. Hopefully it's clear. Please, dear God, let it be clear. How much ammo? 6? Okay. He's fully suppressed. Good. And my Air Force has nothing to do. Oh no. Crap. They're gonna attack into that, aren't they? Why are you not attacking? I'm entrenched at 3. I'm gonna hit you again. I learned my lesson. Hit him twice. Ugh. He has 1 unsuppressed, so hopefully that doesn't hurt me. Yep, initiative being capped. Oh my god, this is terrible. The computer is just going really slow. I didn't mean for that to happen. The good news is, I don't think there's actually more ready to hit me over here yet. I think it's too early for that. So the only thing that would happen is if this unit attacked me. I have backing artillery if you go very poorly for it. Not to mention his initiative is capped. Alright. Oh, you know what I'm starting to realize? I know why I'm taking damage. Or what's happening. My artillery is not as strong. And the suppression's not as good. That's something I didn't think about. This map likes good artillery. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful than I usually am. Okay, we wait. He was pretty dug in. It's not great. The fighter's gonna have a hard time damaging dug in infantry in the city. He doesn't. This nobody wants to attack my elite mountain troops. You know, it's got 6 initiative. It's disgusting. There's like no tanks in 1939 that even have 6 initiative. Here comes the artillery piece, and it's attacking my auxiliary unit exactly as planned. I want him to. You finally have something to do. That's right. Hit that plane. It's clear, and I got an amazing hit. Clear weather is nice. So, where's my fighter? Unfortunately, I didn't fly my plane all the way back. That's actually okay, because I don't think I would have been in a position to hit anything. The good news is the first fighter in this map is now gone, and later on there will be a second one on the other side of the map. But it means being worried about getting hit from the air is not a serious problem anymore. I'm going to force a surrender here. You're on the river, Hex. You're in trouble. Great. So now my infantry is 1 star. He used a lot of ammo, but I don't think the AI is super interested in attacking there, despite the fact I'm at 1 ammo. That is fully suppressed, actually. Huh. Let's attack here. I need to rotate back in because I need my artillery to help me take this artillery piece out. You see me doing these really subtle moves. Yep. How suppressed is he? Wow, okay. You have a job to do. Attack this. He was perfectly suppressed, so this is really safe. Is he almost 2 stars? 195. Okay. I will attack you again if I can get away with it. The answer to that is I can get away with it. So the threat in this region has been fixed. I'm gonna have to resupply soon. Alright. You. Die. A really good hit from my artillery. Now, do me proud. Not a big deal, this is where my scout can do something useful.